Hi, it's me, Tea Leaves. Um, sorry. Toby, sit. Sit. Usually I have to try to. I'm always kicking the animals out, so they don't disturb me, but I'm trying to be a little bit more. Oh, it's not a fun day. It's not a fun day. Online, I know people probably think, oh, I seem really normal, really with it. Charmed life, probably, but not. Not at all. And the last few days or so has been really rough because been very selfish. It's amazing. I was I'm online last night talking to someone before I got in trouble. I got muted. It was the first time I've ever been muted. and first of all, let me say this, okay? This is driving me crazy about this whole thing because I've tried to contact the site that I'm not supposed to talk about. Well, not that I'm not supposed to talk about, but I don't know if it's okay. But I tried contacting them a few times now, and I still haven't heard anything back. And part of me is like, then I just can't. But then another part is like, but it's, how do I put this? You have to forgive me. A few minutes ago, I just started talking out loud, and I was like, I really just got to make a video about this because it's possibly helpful if I could actually say it the way I say it, the first time. Okay. So, it's not just one clear thought and then the la 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 thoughts and la 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 la. It's a constant back and forth between the two sides. Except with me being not just an emotionalist, but a above average emotionalist because of my imbalance. That it's almost like it's the emotional thought, the functional, the emotional, the functional, the emotional, the functional, like everybody else, but the difference is that it's like there's an extra hiccup of emotional in there than there should be. Maybe even an extra hiccup on top of that here and there as well because of, see, I still don't know if I was actually originally, I believe I originally was just on an average, but on the high side of average. So I'm not sure. But anyway, and I haven't even figured out how to explain that whole scale thing yet, so I'm not even going to worry about it too much. But, so for me, it should be like the emotional thought, the functional thought, the emotional, the functional, the emotional, and the hiccups of extra emotional. And oftentimes ending on the emotional. So then I end up doing what feels good to me as opposed to what's the right thing to do. We've all been there, right? Where we've made these decisions and we're like, well, I did the right thing, but you didn't do anything that felt good that was part of it. Or the other way, like with mine, well, I did what I thought sounded good at the time, but I didn't really think it all the way through. That kind of thing. And for as much as you think, well, I guess I just went from this thought to this thought, no, it goes back and forth quite a bit. Anyway, so, I wasn't going to say anything, but like I said last night, I was talking online to someone, and I said something about one of the definitions on that side was also, selfishness. And so I said, you may have noticed you've got this, and selfishness was one of those. And they said, you think I'm selfish? And it's like, okay, how do I explain this? Because it's not the selfish that you think. I mean, it is the selfish that you think, but it's also more than that. Our ability to be selfish gives us our ability to focus. And I explained this really well the other day, actually, to someone, or not really well the other day to someone. I explained it really well to one person the other day, and they were like, whoa, that's amazing. That's crazy. And then the next time I tried to explain it, I did not explain it so well, so just bear with me. But yes, our ability to be selfish gives us our ability to focus. Our ability to focus gives us our ability to be selfish. I'm not really sure how it works, but just think they go hand in hand, because they are on the functional side. So, have you ever been drinking and they drank a lot to the point where your eyes could not focus? Like it's like your eyes were swimming around. You couldn't focus on one thing. So, I have no proof of this, of course, no physical proof of this. And it'd be really crazy if one day they actually found proof of this. So imagine that that's what your brain would be like looking around the world if you didn't have the ability to focus, if you didn't have that selfish, you didn't have that functional ability. That's how you would see the world. Like, you wouldn't be able to. The reason you can focus on a bottle, focus on a TV, focus on a little Lego across the room is because you can be selfish. Your brain can be selfish and just focus on that one thing. I know that sounds a little crazy, but yes. If my theory is correct, yes. I got in trouble last night. Like I said, I got muted last night. I told them in my opinion, but I think that the person who probably told on me will just say they didn't notice that. I don't think they're very happy with me. But anyway, not that. The person I was talking to directly didn't have a problem with it, and they actually understood that it was my own opinion that I was using, and they said, would they be interested to know what my opinion of things was? So, ha ha ha. But anyway, but the second person I talked to, in fairness, the second person I didn't say that to, but I have in the past, so they already know that I'm working from my own opinion. But the person who told on me, they weren't online that day, I'm guessing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just venting a little, just because I understand why the person did it, actually. Told on me. If there was anything to be told on, fine. I do understand, actually, why they did it. But it's still, there's a part of me that it's like, really? Come on, I'm trying to do good for people. If I'm right about this theory, do you have any idea what this could do to help people? Do you have any idea what I realized about the brain? And if I'm wrong, then, well, you know what? At least I tried. At least I said, hey, mental health is an issue, and maybe I could throw in 2 cents. And well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's better to try than not, right? Right. So, anyway, I'm just a little jumpy right now. I'm even missing Columbo. Columbo Santini. Anyway, so I want that light to go away a little bit. Sorry. I know it's going to make it darker, but it's just right in my face, so I'm going to do that. Anyway, so the last couple days has been selfish for me. Because I did something I had to do years ago. When we get content in our discontent. The functional doesn't want to change things if it doesn't need to. So for years, I had moved out years ago, and then I moved back home. Because life wasn't making sense. And I tried to make sense of things, but it just can't go into all that. I can't share all that right now. It's too much. But the point is that even though I had my children, it was time to go. Just couldn't. Isabel, quit. Isabel. Oh, I think she's playing with her brother. He's on one side of the door, she's on the other, so they play footsies under the door. It's cute. Anyway, trying to not make this a long video. the point is, you get content in your discontent, and you just don't move. You don't change things because the functional number one doesn't like change unless it makes sense to do so. It does not work with change. If it makes sense to do so, if the emotional side can show the what if that can make sense to the functional side, then it can make sense to do that change. And then it can make that change. But otherwise, it doesn't do change. It's like a line, and we don't deviate from that line. That's how the functional side works. Rules, law, number, everything in a line, number line. I mean, everything in a line, and we don't deviate unless it makes sense to do so. So like a lot of kids who moved out and came back home again, I got stuck. And I finally figured it out one day, sitting in the garage talking to myself, And I thought, oh, it might have been the day I came up with my content and my discontent. Although my one friend she said, well, it's more like happy and you're crappy. Anyway, I told my mom. She came out to the garage, and I said, I figured it out. I said, I know this is going to sound weird, but you got to kick me out. Like, literally, you have to actually kick me out, not just say, I'm going to kick you out. Say, this is the date. You're done. Kids can stay there, but I have to go. And she did. And I moved in with my best friend for about a month. And now this is where it gets a little tricky, because I think I would have possibly gotten somewhat content in living with my friend, but also not. I know there was definitely something weird about my situation because I was over-functionalizing when it came to my space that I had. Like, I only had certain things. I could have brought a bunch of stuff with me, but I only kept it to very simple things. And how do I put this? Well, anyway, I can't go into all that. I'll just confuse myself and you. But within a month, I had a place. Moved out, got a place of my own. So, so pretty much I told my mom the same thing the other day, only not about moving out, because I told her, I said, you're stuck with me now. I had been so back and forth about the whole idea of moving out and being like on a housing list even, and that's not happening. So, and I even thought about like trying to do it on my own again, and that's not happening with the prices, with COVID, with there's just no place available, all that stuff, right? So I said, you know what, it just looks like you're stuck with me. But I think that means that we just need to work on things around here. And maybe that's what's meant to be anyway, that we've got to fix here at home first. You know how they say before you can be happy with another person, you got to fix you first? Well, that kind of thinking. So, the other day, after a few months now or so of having pretty much a room to myself, which I haven't had for many years, yes, where I can stay up and be on my phone late and watch the shows and stuff late and make my little notes on all the shows and everything, and deal with the cats. And I mean, there's been some advantages to me being in my own space because of dealing with the cats too. Because then I wouldn't have woken up anybody in the middle of the night. I could have kept them in here with me, kind of thing. I'm so sorry. Am I bothering you, Toby? He's over there making noises. Well, people want their spaces back the way that they were before we had a little family disruption a few months back. So, yeah. So now I get to move back into the original room that I was in, with Benji. Now, not only does the functional side just not want to change things if there's no reason to do so, and before you think, well, there is a reason to do so, your family wants... Okay, so this is where the selfishness comes in. Does that benefit me? That move, does it benefit me? Let's just be selfish, real selfish here. Does that benefit me? That move. Just from the little bit that I've said. No. So then don't. No, the functional side really does not see a reason to make that change. And wants to drag its feet. And wants to distract me with all kinds of other issues. Other things I need to legitimately work on. I still need to get back to the that one television show people that I contacted. They need me to get the information to them. I still need to get that back to them. I still need to, there's just a billion things I need to work on still. And of course, making more videos for the, this channel and explaining things in case I don't make it. Because, I have my times where I think that's kind of close at times. I get just all kinds of things. And then, of course, there's also just the mental distractions, too. Where I just all of a sudden just start getting all depressed and all that. And it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Oh, I know why. Because this move doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It makes sense. But when you're thinking of the functional side and the ultimate makes sense. And it's imbalanced. So it's definitely not. Hey! Bells! Get down! Sorry. What did I say? Get down! Get down! Ooh. Girl. Don't do it. She wants to pull my boots down. I don't think so. I need to replace them. But not yet. Anyway, when it comes to already being imbalanced, it's even more of a selfish look on things. It's even more, it's like a kid dragging their feet. I don't want to. I don't want to. Even though it's the functional side, which works with need, not want. But it does work with the emotional side, which does work with want and not want. So, it's just very difficult because when there's an imbalance, it's not just what benefits me that the brain wants to look at, because it's actually kind of a normal way of thinking. As far as the functional side, but it actually goes to the extra step beyond. Okay, this is the imbalance. Get down. You're just into stuff today. But it goes that one step beyond, which is even more extreme, and that is only benefit me, even to the point of inconveniencing others. Because it's about me, and not about them. Get it? It's kind of rude, I know. But that's just how it works, especially when there's the imbalance. See, without the imbalance, it would just be a normal, what benefits me. Well, that would mean I would have to be more functional thinking to begin with, and I'm not, so I can't even explain that, so I'm not even going to try. Never mind. But basically, somebody who is more functional minded, it would be about what benefits them. So that is one of the main concerns. But hey, get that out! Will you quit? Now she's getting into the mittens. Will you? Bells. Isabel. Anyway, you're distracted. She's distracted. Anyway. That would be the normal way of doing things, and so then that's, of course, when that person would seem kind of rude or aloof, to other people's feelings, insensitive even, so that's why you would see someone kind of do things according to their benefit. And until you actually show them a reason, one that makes sense to their brain, not to you, not even maybe to them, but one that makes sense to their brain, they're not going to change that more selfish focused type thinking, but they will if something if you can show them, because seeing is believing for them, show them a reason why it makes sense. You know, for example, if I was more of that functional mind, hey, Toby, or Isabel, I mean, I'm sorry, Toby. Isabel! She's getting in that box again. It's a Chewy box. So it smells like animals, because it had animal stuff in it. And the problem is the lid is right next to the bottom part of the desk. And so then they get stuck in it. Well, it's only already 20 minutes anyway, so I'm going to have to stop this video. Anyway, so the point is that, yeah, as far as the functional part of the brain goes, like I was saying, more functional minded. Now you can show them something that makes sense. Now they can do it. You see, people think automatically, maybe I shouldn't go into that because that's a little bit more of an explanation. But it does show you, because I want to say this though, because just in case I don't make it, I have talked to a few functional minded people in the last few days, and they automatically think that the functional side is like the bad thing, you know, making them, because it is what's making them get stuck, being over focused and being over worried about, you know, what was it? Just the over focus, the overthinking, the over, whatever anxiety that they're living out loud over and over and over again. You know, like if somebody's, I don't know, scratching like that, you know, but they can't stop. Jerry! The over focus. Sorry. Animals. They're all around me. I did this to myself. Anyway, so automatically, yeah, it does sound like the functional side is kind of the, geez, horrible, evil, bad enemy side, but it's not. It's not at all. And, I actually came up with something the other day about that actually your brain working backward, your brain working in a mental health illness type way is actually a good thing, because it proves your brain is actually working. I know it sounds crazy, right? But these mental health things, these illness things that people think are so negative, right? They're actually your brain trying to help you. It goes into like a survival mode type thing, and it's where your brain is it's dealing with what it's got, you know, it's dealing with what it has to work with, but it's trying to protect you, which means your brain is working. Anyway, Isabel, she's stuck in the box. Anyway, there's a lot of good things to the functional side, especially, you know, because it is our thinking side, it is our reasoning side, it is our blah, 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 all that. And also, like I said, without the functional side, our eyes would not be able to focus, you know. It's kind of like Monk and his whole little with the hand thing. Well, I can't get into that right now. So let me get back to what I was saying, because I gotta finish this. So yes, I've been very selfish the last few days, because this move does not benefit me in any way, shape, or form. But because I know this is what's happening in the brain, okay, I know what I gotta do. Now, is that everybody's fix in that situation? No. Unfortunately, when you are more, I have an ability to roll with it that somebody who's more functional minded doesn't. Now, them being able to look at the fact that it's their functional side over functionalizing and make sense of that, that's possible. So then somebody who's functional minded could. But otherwise, the definitions on the functional side are just getting stronger. So then it makes it more difficult. Still working on how to do that. I have to speak with more functional people to be able to figure that out. To do that, I got to continue working with that website. Still haven't heard from them. Ah, you can get out, can you? No, you can't. She stuck her head out, but she couldn't actually get the rest of her out. I guess I'll have to go, because I don't want to get her to get stuck. Anyway, yeah, this move has been rough for me, though, because it does not benefit me. And so, grr. But it's happening today. Even if I'm not actually ready for it, I could go into more about it, how the process has happened, and how distracted the brain gets because, oh, I want to do this first. Like before you move a room to another room, you want to vacuum, right? You want to clear everything out and clean up, vacuum everything out, maybe clean the windows, do the kind of like a spring cleaning of the room before you actually move all the furniture in. But because we're only be able to move things in back and forth and all that, you can't always do that. And so my brain gets distracted and says, well, I want to clean each area at least beforehand. Hey, don't knock my computer over, girl. You, and you did anyway. It's okay. It didn't fall. It actually fell. It was like this, and it was propped against something, so it kind of actually went, instead of boom, it went, yeah, okay, it's okay, though. Yeah, because I need to find my power cord, because I have decided, after talking to my one friend online, I am going to share my story. He thought it sounded pretty cool. Why do pirates dream? Or do pirates dream? I don't know, do they? Anyway, maybe I can make a better video of this later. If I can't, then I'll go ahead and publish this, but maybe after the move is done, I'll be able to talk more clearly about it and not be dealing with animals. For now. Bye, tea leavers.